So with y'all, this key, right? You feel me? Um, I had a vision, right? That it wasn't really a vision. It was more of just meditating real hard and well, not I wouldn't even say real hard, but just meditating and leaving where I need to be. So I zoomed in on these officers that's behind this cyber stalking, this harassment, this weird stuff, right? You know, the instruct people, oh, I need you to do this, I need you to do these illegal instructions, right? I'm off for orders. And they panic. They panic. He can hear us, he can hear it. Like, and trust me, why it sounds loud out here and society within the system and the security room, they're not talking all this stuff. All it is pushing buttons and panicking and pressing buttons, all illegal recordings, which we already got access to. They're already done with. You feel me? Then the Alexa, with the other idiot that hides in the utility closets and stuff. We already got him too. You feel me? So, nah, I say what I mean. I don't like that. Nobody do. You feel me? But I also blame these so-called doctors. You feel me? Because they knew these medical problems, these issues that these individuals had. They knew all of them. You feel me? And that's something they told me. The ones that was back then that was doing the cannibal stuff, they confessed that. When they said, I heard about this glorious destruction, and then they looked at me and they said, so I can go to sleep. And that's when the leaders of the church was coming to me like, hey, he's the one that's going to end us. End this pain and this suffering that we don't, because they knew they had the mark of the beast, put it that way. You feel me? And they said it to each other. We know he's not going to talk to us. Those who survived that, y'all know they debriefed them. And those individuals was hateful towards these individuals because these individuals knew nothing about the cult. Their cult. The Klan was a cannibal thing. It wasn't just about being a predator. It wasn't just about disease. It was about cannibalism. Caveman type of stuff. Think of the name Ku Klux Klan, where that came from. Those words. That language. These individuals that's running back and forth that got plagued too, that's dying as well, they're just working with diseases. That's why before I left the other state, those officers got caught up too. But before I left, these individuals stopped back and they were getting charged over 32 counts of attempted murder because they're trying to third party each other and then try to third party somebody else. That's all premeditated attempted murder. What do that look like on an officer or a doctor who knew they couldn't benefit from medication? They could not sleep. They couldn't shower. Why would you send something unsanitary to our country? All of this, I say that to say this, all of this could have been avoided. But it was meant to happen for a reason. Scriptures needed to be complete. So as they get removed off the land, so does those who help them out. Because y'all finances, y'all health, y'all spiritual life, y'all well-being, all of that is always going to be protected. That's why it's boosting up now. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's everybody in our country who wasn't council culture, who didn't sit back and rock with them until they either separated, died, or whatever. They waited till the last minute. And they were playing back and forth with this group. Do you get what I mean? They didn't pick a side. So they got entangled with it. You feel me? But these officers stopped back and they're playing illegal recordings. You feel me? And if you notice, if we see the officers, we hear the sirens, we see them dead on, right? Trust me, everybody in the department sees them as well. But there's no mistake of, oh, we want him to explain, or we want this. They talking about cyber that they're being charged for. They're talking about their own crimes, just like their own emotions. They're talking about, oh, we want to make them angry. We want to make them, this, or we want to make them that, or whatever it is they bouncing around in the same category of negativity. That's their emotions. Can you imagine somebody saying, "Oh man, I got these problems," and then they flip it around, and then say, "Oh, we're trying to cause these problems on you." Like, nigga, that don't exist. You're fraud. Flat out, you're fraud. Just as fast as they showed in the workplace, like everywhere else. Oh, we want to be a part of this, but we're not going to pay attention to a single thing with to do with the rules or the regulations of anything. What we're going to do is flip it and try to enforce it only on y'all. That's why we made it federally mandatory to report discrimination, because it's a hate crime. And that's the only way council culture can operate. That's the only way they work. That's the only way they kept showing that they can do something that you can't do, and then you can join in, you know what I mean, and feel great or whatever, right? But the whole time they were missing, they were dying. This was happening to them because the whole time they were breaking law. They were committing crimes. They were doing all types of capital and federal crimes. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's stupid. Why would you even display segregation out of all things that you can display? Why would you display slavery or any, Jim Crow law or any white supremacy tactics saying you blacker than me, or you're not even, of that ethnicity? Do you get what I mean? That's stupid. And then you see everybody else looking at them like, and this officer on their devices talking against their ethnicity, regardless of who the hell they were, against their females, and they're sitting back like, yeah, we want him to explain. Like, nigga, what? Civil lawyers are free. Subpoenas are free. Why didn't you take your phone to a lawyer's office? Why didn't you deliver that to them? And then just build up all the rest of your evidence against these individuals in the department. You didn't want money. You're toxic. You did it pointlessly for nothing, in vain. You die in vain. You get convicted for a purpose, but you die in vain. You lived in vain. That's why it is written that them, specifically, they was never supposed to be born. So no matter what they do or what they have said, they kept showing it. Why I said it a long time ago. They're the salt that lost its taste. Once that happens, it's good for nothing. Good for nothing. Only to be thrown into the fire. That's why we're going to mutilate them. That's why we've been throwing their bodies in the fire. Look at how we did during COVID. That was scripture. Behold a pale horse. How we got rid of the bodies. Now, those who wasn't council culture, you already know. They're coming back in the resurrection. That is what it is. You feel me? But those who caused it, if you notice, they're the only ones that's not even displaying the new normal at all. Can you imagine being in a workplace and that whole workplace is sitting back speaking against Americans? Speaking against you, and then try to act like they know how to live or they know how to work. And the whole time is like, oh, well, we need to do this because you know all the rules and regulations. So we need to bend this, and then we can do this, and then we can sit back and phone each other, text message each other, call each other, send each other pictures and screenshots and all types of FaceTime and stuff like that. Like, nigga, I've seen these niggas get caught up in so many ways. So many ways. So many. Even with the online gaming, I've seen them get caught up in so many ways that their life literally is a joke. And they would sit back and think that walking around with flies and gnats, do you get what I'm saying? It's supposed to be something cool. Playing with mosquitoes and bugs is supposed to be cool for an adult. Do you get what I mean? Like, when you get to that level of immaturity, like when y'all came around, and I noticed y'all already reported it because I already got the signs of that too. When y'all see individuals running to trash cans and lids that bring flies inside, like, nigga, that belong outside. And then y'all hear like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, a nigga gotta literally explain, why are you literally making this up? Why are you getting mad that I'm questioning? Everybody got the right to question everything, even in court. It's called cross-examination. There's two sides to every story. One's called the defense, which is your defense. You feel me? The other side is the accuser. It'll never be this narcissistic way of life that they live. Like, oh, it's what we're talking about. It's what we say go. And nah, nigga, you illegal. So it'll never be, them come around us and, oh, we want you to do this, we want you to do that because this says this, but we want to add this in there. Nah, you're ad lip singing. You're at lip syncing so you can do something wrong. So you can phone and text to your crimes. That's all that is. When individuals try to add stuff to stuff that don't got nothing to do with anything of your signature or your where you work at or where you live at, your lease or anything that you are going through in life, it has nothing to do with it. So yes, like nah, that's because of hidden intentions. And those individuals, just like I'll just give you a quick story, right? So the individuals at the last spot, right? Because y'all know already we got that too. They finna be indicted too, right? They already know that too. So these individuals, right? They sit back, this manager, right? He runs around and this Johnny Smith character, right? So he runs around and parole asking for him because every time parole pops up, these managers be gone. They love to instigate this stuff, but then they love to run like diarrhea out of their own body. You feel me? They just all over the place, or they'll be somewhere hidden in a vehicle nearby. And these are the things he did. You feel me? And then sat back while plotting against even parole, like a jackass. You feel me? Knowing the feds run them right now because of the sting operations and all that other stuff and the task force against this group. So imagine this, right? The individual is lying. They're asking for him 24/7 because they're already in the camera system. They're already in his phone. They got that tap. That is what it is. When the news can say it and everybody else is seeing it, like, you just know. You feel me? And they're complaining about it and showing the panic, like, So there's no adjusting to that. Once they know everything about you. Text messages, dating sites, everything. They know it. They know who you've been in contact with. They know it because it leads right back to the sender, the receiver. That's very direct, right? So they're asking for this individual. This individual is sitting back running all over the place, but right, like all this trash talk, all this weird stuff, right? So, and that's behind the back. When I approach this nigga, it's always, oh, well, it's the sweet boy talk. And then he started bending over obsessively. Like how you gonna have conversations of you messing around with streetwalkers, or you have these diseases and you're trying to go pass them here or you're trying to pass them there? Like, why would you have officers in your phone? You're talking all this weird stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand the nature of the beast. Self-destruction and then being scary and then every excuse they have. But see, they're always together, so they would never, oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know this, but every time you see them kumbayaing together, they're together talking about it. So I say all of this to say this, right? I blame the doctors who knew that they had messed up problems, that they knew they were dying, they knew they couldn't get clean, they knew they couldn't benefit from medication. So why would you let them out to society to hide in workplaces and housing and try to pretend relationships just to support those officers who told you to obstruct that type of justice, and turn your head so they can use them against our country while they poisoned each other and tried to third party everybody else until they got ended. So I blame them as well. You feel me? Like, that's just no way around that. And if you notice, we're hitting everything from them trying to rig the system, basically pervert the way that we even fill out our elections. Look how they caught that ugly individual downtown Los Angeles trying to pay people $2, $3 just to rig their votes. Oh, we want you to vote for so-and-so, here's $2. Now the whole time they're giving them diseases, they're doing this, they're doing that. Like, we on all of that. If we went that damn direct and they didn't get it yet, because I don't want them to get it. So if we went that damn direct and they did not get it, they did not catch on, and it was that easy for me to zoom in, and they're sitting back and they're keep on underestimating Americans, right? I did the same thing to Steele. Zoomed right in on him. I did the same thing to him in a variety of ways to a lot of them, and seeing how they was living, seeing what they was doing, seeing inside their little wannabe residentials. They don't even live like people in the government at all. You feel me? Like, it's more like, the watching you video of Michael Jackson or what's that, Rockwell. You feel me? It's more like stuff like that. It don't have nothing to do with a regular situation of where you're actually living Do you get what I mean? Like there's a difference between living and you not living. So now, but just to let y'all know, like, you feel me? Like, them underestimating that and going in circles, that's why I told y'all, look at them like doodle in the toilet. That doodle been flushed. They're going round and round and round, but they're going down that drain. And all the water is taking all those particles of unnastiness and drawing it down the drain. Do you get what I mean? So these individuals that knew about their medical issues and all that other stuff, like, yeah, I blame them too. Because if you knew that what you was dealing with, and all the real ones, they was doing their job. Some of them even made the little gang stalking videos. The narcissistic, they was helping out, they was advocating, they was doing a lot, and they was letting everybody know in every single way this group is illegal. They'll try to victimize, and then they'll turn around and play victim. So-and-so talked about me. You know how many times I get talked about every damn day? All through the night, and it's all on camera, and all they can ever do is sit back and deny it. Out of fear. Out of fear. And then the whole time that I'm getting paid, y'all getting paid, and they're being charged for even denying it, is for one reason. It's called obstruction of justice. It's a federal crime. So why initiate a problem that you cannot address, you damn for sure can't handle, and then you're gonna run back and try to rat on somebody, or run back and try to cause problems, which basically it violates EEOC if you're in the workplace, and fair housing, which is some more federal stuff if you're in the housing. Either way, even when you're traveling, it violates your privacy. You can't stalk another individual just because you want to complain about them. BITCH, you're the complaint. You're the complaint. That's why you're the one stressed out. That's why you're the one in trouble. That's why you're the one trying to cause trouble pointlessly for somebody else. Now imagine we want them to explain, and then they book out like diarrhea out of their own body. You didn't want nobody to explain. You were trying to provoke somebody. It didn't work, and you ran off to play with cybercrime, which is some more federal stuff. So imagine when I told y'all in the last one of the last videos, the whole time I've been ignoring them. The workplace, I've been ignoring them, but when you got people with toddler minds, grown individuals, that they need to be seen, they need to be heard, and all this other stuff, like, nigga, that's what we headed to court for. That way you cannot run. That way you cannot run. So I do appreciate y'all building up y'all the way y'all building up y'all paperwork against them. Because that's paperwork that we are collecting and taking to court. That paperwork is called evidence. And our evidence is so solid, it's open and shut. No individual deserves to be stalked. No individual deserves to be targeted by nobody. And then especially no individual deserves to be in, you know, some weird environment to where your life literally, even though it's moving along, your life, you're seeing this unwanted behavior, these unwanted words, these unwanted everything. And niggas don't get what sexual harassment really is. When somebody don't want to talk to you, you cannot go and cause the situation just so somebody can talk to you or address you. Because flat out, I'm going to talk to whoever the hell I want to talk to, however I want to talk to them. Long as it's known that I'm assertive, like, just don't try to offend me, and you don't have to worry about being sensitive about it and going to rat on me. Flat out. Because that's all that ever happened. You get what I'm saying? From out of state, check out all the videos. Then check out all of y'all videos. It was the same mentality we was dealing with and we was addressing. Somebody want all the stuff to say in the world against you or slide tip it because they really don't like you. They harbor all these negative feelings, which is killing them as well, because stress kills you faster than anything. And then they turn around and go run to somebody who they feel is an authority. And time again, just like that Johnny Smith, that manager, they get caught up. They get charged. There was another one too that I think his name was Charlie or something like Charles or something like that, right? And if you notice, they all have the same lifestyle. They all got a history of some weird stuff. They got a history of something that linked them to that group. So back to that vision of, we got this, we got that. They don't got anything. They got a gang of charges. But to show y'all the results of why the feds were seen all on the traveling things, and then they were already, you know what I mean? It was known already when they snatched that camera, meaning it was representing the stalkers, out of the department. They snatched it so hard that it left literally a hole in the bricks. You know how when you go to that county jail, you see how them cameras is literally embedded in there. You can't even shoot it out. You feel me? Like, it's bulletproof. Just like the ones on the street. Trust me, like my generation, we already tried that already. And a lot of us got charged for that too. So nobody's messing with that. That's there for a reason. Nobody's messing, and it's benefiting us now. So it really don't matter. We damn for sure ain't panic over no damn camera, because that's evidence for us. You feel me? Like, so we're not caring about that. That's for liability anyway. So we're not caring about that. But now y'all see why that was snatched out. The apartment hate these individuals that hid in it so bad. So bad. That the way it was snatched out, it left a hole. And it only represented the stalkers that was hiding behind badges. That's all. And then on the street, then I seen the individuals look hella goofy. Like they was hella like, oh, we're following you. Like, you know, like you had a goof troop with tattoos trying to follow you around and stuff, right? And then the dude just went quiet and stopped. And I looked back and the dude vanished, disappeared. Now there's another one linked out with that one that I told y'all about the dry leaves that was falling. It's a lot of individuals that didn't have a badge outnumbers the ones that had a badge, because they don't really exist in there no more at all. And a lot of these individuals already know that. Like, we infiltrated everything. We're targeting this group. This is our country. We're targeting this group, and then we're sitting back, and we don't even have to break the rules or the laws. You feel me? But we're gonna uphold it. You know what I mean? Every single way that we authorized to do. So imagine this. Imagine this, right? These individuals are being scraped up. They're also being gaffled. They're also being moved on. It's a variety of stuff, right? But they're so in la la land. Even the group, like maybe the first round or the second round, they always said that when they felt that they couldn't be, or they had a safe haven, because when they shut things down, they would run to the next safe haven and they'll brag and talk trash about the business that they literally got quarantined, or they literally shut down for being unsanitary, being nasty. Oh, we did this, we shut it down. Like, so you didn't care about housing, you didn't care about your well-being, you didn't care about your mental, you didn't care about nothing to do with you and why you were there. You only cared about being hoarded. You only cared about mixing diseases and being against the property that you went to, the business that you went to, that property. You was mad that bad. Do you get what I mean? Like, and when I seen this and witnessed this over and over and over again, that's how y'all knew why they wanted no Americans where they were. They only wanted them, so they can make it look good, and I quote unquote. And that's how Johnny Smith had it over there. But they already revealed over there too that, you know, they was writing to each other from outside to inside, and then they'll come and they'll get into the program, but they was blocking out Americans that was already out here. They was blocking them out. So imagine all those hate crimes. Imagine all that evasion of privacy. Imagine all of that. Do you get what I mean? Like, imagine that type of stuff to where they didn't care about their life. They didn't care about it. When you got somebody that don't know how to act in the workplace, or that don't know how to act in housing, they don't even know how to travel in peace, my nigga, amongst us. So imagine that. Imagine it. Why drink this chocolate milk? You feel me? Like, imagine it. Because that's that's absurd. You feel me? And I'm gonna stop it right here. You feel me? When people do nasty stuff, ill-mannered stuff, like, we don't want you to eat in peace, we don't want you to feel comfortable, we don't want you to do this. This is how you know nobody cares. You feel me? trash don't block you out of area. It's not going to make you clean up behind the individual neither. It's going to make you relocate it to where it needs to be addressed. It needs to be taken care of. If you need to sweep up, you're going to sweep up, because we grew up doing chores. Do you get what I'm saying? So I bring it back to, if an individual is in your relationships, and I tell y'all like this, like, yeah, I'm so glad that they don't have no real relationships and y'all caught them all. Just like when y'all started wearing purple, I knew. Just when they started wearing purple, I knew that was a sign that the angel gave. Gabriella, the archangel, right? When they was starting to act like they was the gangster, the this, the that, and then they started wearing all this weird stuff. This, you get what I'm saying? Y'all already caught them trying to play in relationships. That was the sign that I needed. You feel me? Because y'all on them already out here in this city, like they did already in Compton, South Central, East and West, downtown, East Hollywood. They did it everywhere. Everywhere. Even East LA, y'all did it everywhere. So now y'all finally did it out here. And that was, all right, y'all acknowledging y'all millions, because y'all got it. For sure. Even in the workplace, y'all got it for sure. Because y'all didn't agree to individuals working around y'all like that, nor living around y'all in the neighborhood, nor anything like that, right? So when y'all seen that part, y'all knew already. And I already told y'all about that vision, you feel me? And that was locking in those millions. That was locking in everything. Y'all was addressing a lot of stuff already, behind the scene, on the scene, everything. What it is when a person can't, oh, we don't understand this, but they're admitting they understand. They just didn't want to understand. They didn't want to have accountability. Like, you're looking at what a SVP is. Do you get what I'm saying? There ain't no way around that. You feel me? And when a person is dying from diseases that make their pretense violent, because they were using their diseases against the community. You feel me? Like, I shouldn't have had to. I didn't mind. It was good to speak up for another, for the innocent. You feel me? But I shouldn't have had to do that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and I say that because it should have been avoided. People should know how to accept rejection. People shouldn't have intentions that they wanted you to die. They didn't want you to have money. They didn't want you to be happy. They didn't want you to be comfortable. They didn't want you to be in a clean environment. Like, they literally kept showing what their relationships really was like. Do you get what I mean? Like, and imagine when we would get to court, because this is not the first time I'm going to court for this type of stuff. You feel me? Like, this is just the last time. It's the last time. You feel me? Like, so, yeah. I appreciate y'all. Remember, I told y'all too. Y'all millions of dollars walking around this piece. Millions of dollars. What did y'all do? Y'all went and y'all told every real nigga that y'all knew. And they already connected too. You already know that. So all God's children is like, they connected to the country, they connected to us. Like, it is what it is. So imagine this. Who is the only ones going out of their way to literally be hysterical? Like, they're trying to prove like, oh, I'm connected to him. They're acknowledging I'm God, but they're letting it be known like, oh, and then they get to this annoyance thing with the female. Oh, watch, he's gonna say like, nigga, you are not a psychic. You are not a psychic. You're not predicting nothing. You're just doing cybercrime right in front of her, and she's just calm as ever. Just listening to what God really is saying, and this idiot trying to act like he's trying to quote, but he's just quoting his cybercrime on his phone or a nearby device that he can hear. Line scripts. I don't mind keeping doodle in the toilet. It belongs there. You feel me? But line scripts, you do not read to your family. You do not read that to your... This is not no damn game. So for an individual to sit back with a badge and try to use something against our country as a weapon, and then that weapon get taken away and it turns into all this tantrum stuff, they might as well go ahead and start bending over and pretend, quote unquote, pretend that I was in the county jail again, and they walking by my cell trying to bend over like they're the better selection, while I'm sitting back looking for any female, any goddess in there, because they know we got a history. You feel me? Like, I'm not finna be overly into it like that, because a lot of them is on that list, but we got a history, and that history is well respected. It's involving consent. It's involving our privacy. Like, we didn't invite these niggas to our sexual life. You feel me? Like, or our sexual choices. That's protected by federal law. So people trying to overly, oh, we need to be around so-and-so. We need to do this. We need to do that. But they're trying to convince you to get their STDs. Like, that's called third party, my nigga. That's called third party. You feel me? Like, and it's not that y'all weak-minded. But when a group, like I said, don't understand what no means no mean, then you got to understand they're also acknowledging they're being moved on. And I'll tell you like this as a joke for Happy Sunday when I end this this video right now, right? I'm the only one that ever been around this group besides y'all, but did a video about it. I'm the only one that will ever be like, oh, when the tough get tough, the going gets going. It's not tough for us. It's not going for us. What it is I'm the only one that literally like, nah, I'm not finna run around and tell somebody I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to work here. I don't want this. I don't want that. But I want to complain about somebody who's not complaining about it. Somebody who's also following the rules and doing this and don't mind cleaning up behind themselves, do their chores, mind their business. You get what I'm saying? Handling their court orders or their job tax description. But imagine when it's the opposite. Oh, we don't want this, we don't want that. Like, nigga, then leave. You want to listen to cops, then go to jail. That's what that's for. That's what that's for. If you don't know how to function, that's what it's for. It's not for a tantrum. Oh, we need to be around so-and-so so he can, we just want him to hear us. Like, why? You're not going to lead me nowhere. You feel me? Like, you're not going to get me to believe something. Every morning I wake up, every morning that I'm traveling, every morning that I come back, I'm seeing what they believe. I'm seeing the same insects, the gnats, flies, mosquitoes. You get what I'm saying? I'm seeing